We know that criminals can come from all walks of life. It can be innocent-looking seniors, or a mom with her small children. So it's no wonder that airport security has to view anyone coming through as a potential suspect. They also tend to pay very close attention to anything you say in response to their questions. And this next story proves why it's a smart strategy. In 2009, a 23-year-old woman had just got off a flight at Manchester Airport in the UK. As her luggage was being scanned, customs agents noticed a golf bag full of golf clubs. The woman informed them that she had just returned from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Since she was on vacation, she took her golf clubs. The agent then casually asked what her handicap was. Whether she was being tested is unknown. It may have merely been an innocent question after seeing her equipment. For the record, a golf handicap is an index number that represents a golfer's ability. A lower handicap index indicates a more skilled golfer, while a higher handicap represents a lesser skill. This ranking allows people of different ages, genders, and skill levels to fairly compete against each other. A person who plays golf would normally know this. However, customs agents noted that she clearly did not know what they were talking about and had no idea it was even a golfing term. They said she appeared as if she thought they were asking her if she had a disability. She then asked them to repeat the question. When they did, she had no response. Customs agents pay close attention to a person's response when they engage in small talk. Usually it's because they are actually quizzing you. And clearly her reaction raised a red flag. This resulted in a more thorough search on her luggage. After swabbing her bags, they found traces of cocaine. Agents then started cutting open her golf clubs. And as they suspected, each club was stuffed with cocaine. By the time they were finished, the total amount retrieved was worth $135,000. Clearly this woman was operating as a drug mule. That's a person who transports drugs for dealers and gets paid upon delivery. Like most drug mules, this woman was unemployed and desperate for money. But instead of getting paid, she got arrested. With all this evidence, she had no other option but to admit to smuggling the drugs. So her failure to correctly respond to one simple question got her busted. That's because customs agents are not easily fooled. It's also why dealers prefer to use mules. As for this young woman, she wound up serving 4 years in jail. In 2015, a man walked into a town bank in Virginia. He then approached the teller window and handed her a demand note. Here is the actual note. It reads, "I need 150,000 bands right now." 150,000 bands translates into $150,000. He then continues, "Police take 3 to 4 minutes to get here. I would appreciate if you ring the alarm a minute after I am gone. Make sure the money doesn't blow up on my way out." Even though he was committing a serious crime, he still took the time to draw smiley faces on the demand note. But he did something else during the robbery that was even more unusual. He recorded the event as well. Here you can see him passing the note to the teller. She reads it and immediately complies with his demands. Soon after the robbery, he posted videos of the incident along with a photo of the demand note to his Instagram account. Obviously, it didn't take long for police to locate and arrest 23-year-old Dominique Alfonseca. He was found just 20 minutes later carrying a gym bag full of money. Yet despite all this evidence, he couldn't understand why he was being arrested. He said in his defense, "I don't know how I'm a robber because I asked for it. She could have said no, and I could have left. I didn't have a gun. I didn't have anything. I even waited my turn. They called me up and I handed them the note." Yes, he really said this to police. He also felt that since he included the word, "please," in the demand note, it was not a crime. He also said, "A robbery is demanding, going and demanding something and taking the money or whatever like that. I didn't do that. If it was a robbery, I don't think I would videotape it, post the picture of the letter and do that all to come to jail. So why did he post evidence to his Instagram? He claimed it was to protect himself from police and prove he wasn't armed. After hearing all this, the judge acknowledged that Alfonseca had mental health issues. However, he also made it clear that this was still a bank robbery. Alfonseca eventually pleaded guilty to 1 count of robbery in Virginia Beach Circuit Court. He was sentenced to 10 years with 7 years suspended. During an interview from his jail cell, here is what he had to say about being locked up.
I feel great. I'm on vacation. Do my little push-ups, you know what I mean? My sit-ups, my crunches.
Clearly, he still had not taken this whole thing seriously. He told reporters that he was an aspiring rapper. But when asked if this was supposed to be a publicity stunt, here was his response.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I robbed the bank wanting to get the money. I mean, I already got my time, so I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted the money. I was gonna go to Miami.
Well, this time he was actually making sense. He robbed the bank because he wanted to get the money. He also wanted to give some advice to aspiring bank robbers.
Yeah, if you're gonna rob a bank, do it with a mask, or don't show your face.
Well, Mr. Alfonseca, it would have been better to advise people not to rob banks at all. He also said he hopes to release an album and he wants to call it Smooth Criminal. But Stupid Criminal would be more appropriate. In 2019, a man entered the Chase Bank in Chula Vista. He handed the teller a note that said, "I have a gun. Give me all the money. No ink packages." The frightened teller handed him $1,000 in cash. He then fled the scene on a Lime electric scooter. This is the scooter. It's certainly not what you would expect a bank robber to use. Interestingly, he actually got away. It took both the Chula Vista Police Department and the FBI to track him down. Police would not say how they found him, but they revealed that he was previously convicted in 2008 for robbing a Chula Vista bank. The U.S. attorney on the case said, "Unfortunately, this defendant failed to take advantage of his second chance and committed an additional violent crime." The 32-year-old man pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The U.S. attorney said this case demonstrates that individuals who re-offend will usually be given a longer sentence. He added, "Hopefully this time the defendant learned a lesson." Well, we hope so too, but based on our research, they usually don't. Apparently, robbing a bank and riding off on a scooter is in some ways the new normal. Because in 2022 this man did the same thing. He robbed a San Diego bank and received an undisclosed amount of cash. Police described the robber as a white or Hispanic man of unknown age. He stood about 5 feet 7 inches tall with an average build. He wore a black baseball hat and black face covering. He had on what appeared to be a dark red cardigan or sweater over a collared shirt. The sweater had dark sleeves and a lighter colored pattern on the body. He also wore black pants and black shoes with white socks. That's a pretty detailed description. But after all that, the only thing they could tell us is that he was last seen riding a scooter on Villa La Jolla Drive. Apparently, escaping on a scooter isn't as silly as it sounds.